Okay. Hello, everyone. Today is day 40 of our 90-day run. My name is Kelly Couch. For those of you that don't know me, I'm an independent promoter with the company Prove It. And day 40, I am excited it's day 40 and I'm feeling the need to lean in because it's day 40. When I don't know if we have runners, I don't know, something you guys think about that you're going for a long, on those long runs and you're like, or I used to work night shift overnight in law school. And so it's like a 12-hour shift. And when I would get to 5 hours and 5.5 hours and you're not even halfway done and you're like, oh dang, I need to kick it in here. How am I going to get through this? So we need to push strong over this hump and finish this second half strong. So I'm excited about that. The topic, what are we talking about today? Social media 101. It's going to be this one here is going to be a two-part series, but we're going to go into Monday into more advanced strategies. So bear with me and know that today we're kind of introducing and laying the foundation. We'll get into more really hands-on tips tomorrow. And then, Monday and Tuesday, we're going to really bring it in for those of you who feel confident and strong, or even if you don't, take notes and be practicing those. Social media is all about that practice. So the outcome for today is we're going to do, like I said, really lay the foundation, get a starting point on social media or a restarting point if you haven't been, if you've been doing it for a while, but you're kind of getting into those same practices and all that. Let's get refired up for that. Recognition and gratitude. So I want to recognize social media, people who are taking action on there. I know that can be scary. Like when I first started, I was nervous. Nick was doing all these lives and I was like, oh, this is just not my cup of tea. But it gets so much easier. And now, it's not a thing to be on their live. It's not a thing to be sharing myself on there because I've done it over and over and over. And you're just constantly staying a learner and staying, aware of what other people are doing and what you see that you like. That's a great, time to lean in and really do what they're doing too. So I've seen people doing these 21-day lives. I love that. Prove It does that a lot of these events. They'll say if you do 30 days alive, you get whatever the incentive is. I think that's a great way to just get over being nervous about that. I know they said one time, just do it on, folding a fitted sheet or something like that. And so 100 people did that same one. And it was actually really funny, but it was a good way to push through it. So I love those. Know that I see your stories and I love them. I don't always, years ago, we always went in and commented on everybody's who made Prove It posts because it sort of built up the engagement. Now I do a little bit less of that just because I want people outside of Prove It. If I sorry, my thing fell. I was touching it. If I like all Prove It people stuff, I'm only going to see Prove It people stuff, and only Prove It people are going to see my stuff. So know that I see them and they're awesome. And I'll probably start PMing you guys because I love to see all those different stories and get ideas and that stuff. So all the people that are doing the things I'm about to talk about today, even if you feel like it's crazy and it's ugly, know that in a year you'll be able to look back and use those as posts because you'll be like, oh my gosh, you guys, a year ago I was a hot mess. So, keep going, keep practicing. Kylene, Shiley, I see you guys on there. You guys are kind of new and doing that stuff on social media, and that warms my heart. I remember, I think it was a couple years ago, we had a couple of women join our team, and Nick didn't know their names. And so he saw them doing a live on social media, and he was like, man, that's really good. It'd be great if we could get new people to do that. And I'm like, that's our team. And so we love to see, you guys on there and sharing it and doing recipes and all the stuff on there. So other things I want to recognize are, sometimes I think we don't, we recognize leaders, we are talking about Missy and Jess and their consistency. But I think also sometimes it takes some self-awareness. And I know that this is something for me. It's easy for me to just sort of crawl into my hole when I feel overwhelmed. Thing, but Christy and Jim, we coaching, hey, we some, it's kind of an honest look at our business. Maybe we aren't where we want to be. Maybe we're not doing the things. And so where can we sit down and do that? And I think that is something to be recognized also because, we don't know what you need unless you guys are reaching out really. And that's where we know to step in and work. So gratitude for today. I'm going to take this one all my own because I am grateful for a community that lifts me up. Like, I don't know about you guys, but this summer I took off. Like, we just swam and we didn't do much of anything as far as schedule wise. And so this fall has made it feel like someone took a bat and like slapped me upside the head. Like, in the past couple of weeks, we have like cheerleading, jujitsu, soccer, homeschooling, getting AJ's preschool up and running. And on top of that, my kids' eyes have been kind of goopy, and so that's being passed around. So I've been up through the night putting oils on those. Nick injured his back a couple days ago, all the things. And so, it could be easy to get negative and overwhelmed. And so I've just been staying in my Bible study and staying on my DMOs because of you guys and, people that keep me accountable. It's okay to be honest with me too, even though we're the leaders. Sometimes if we're not doing the things we need to be doing, we always say, be the leader that you would want, someone else to be. And so sometimes, I need to be kept accountable too, to really lean in during this time and learn lessons, like what's a priority, what's important. They always say things are important and things are urgent, and you need to do the important things because things will always feel urgent. And that's where I'm at now. And I'm constant doing a recheck, what's important. So a few announcements. If you didn't see, the cherry lightning cans are on sale for today only. So people are loving those. That's the new nat formula in a can. So it is different from the up or the other flavors. So make sure you're getting those in people's hands to try. Missy and Kara and Nick are at LCD right now. I want to hop into this training, but I think this is super important. So when they come back, two things. We want to make sure that we're getting that information from them because they're learning practical situational ways to handle things and practical things to be doing to lead at the next level. So if you didn't make it there or I didn't go there, I want to make sure that I'm getting around them or getting on a Zoom with them to say, like, you could even say something arises in your business and call one of them and say, hey, what'd you learn at LCD about how to handle this? Because we can always be learning emotionally, mentally, all that stuff, how to next level our businesses. So I think that is super duper important. Playbook and Hacking Better. Playbook is next weekend. We want to be making sure we're getting anyone and everyone out to those. Like I've talked about before, that's the initial introduction to the community, and we really want to be getting people around that. So let's hop in. Social media 101. Rather than me saying like, do this for the next 4 days, and you have a book of notes that you don't remember, I want it to be more interactive and sort of a self-assessment as I go through these. So let's be really interactive and sort of have a table discussion here. So first of all, I want to know in the comments, how would you guys rate yourself on social media? Like, one being what is Facebook? And two being like, my business runs there. I mean, five being my business is there. Like, I'm not even belly to belly at all. My business is there. So rate yourself there. And then I want you to sort of do a reality check. Like, who is on social media a lot, but maybe you're not intentional about building your business. Like, Linda's sister's ex's bunny's name, but you haven't added to your own story in 6 days. We're guilty of it, you guys. I'm guilty of it too. Like, I had a customer in our community come over the other day, and her kids were swimming. And I said, oh, it seems like your sister is really happy in her marriage. She was talking about her sister. And I said, oh, they seem really happy together. And then I self-checked, like, I haven't talked to this girl since like the 90s. I just see pictures every now and then on Facebook. I have no clue about her marriage, but we all go there. We're like, oh, look, oh, Bobby and Jenny and Sue. And you're like, stop it. If you're using this as a business building tool, you have to be able to say, shut that side down. Before you open your phone for social media, what are we here for? Set your outcomes. Like, I'm here to connect. I'm here to engage. I'm here to make posts. I'm here to get people to know me. Like, what are we doing so we don't get in that vortex of like scroll before we go to bed, right? So the outcomes, part one, foundation building. Foundation building is what I want to do. But for those who are comfortable, we want to do a refresh. And I want you guys to really think about, through these 4 days, taking ownership on consistency on social media. And I'm not even talking about consistency throughout the day. Yes, of course, we need that. Consistency throughout the week. But I think an ever-present thing you hear trainers on this say is that years, like Kendra McMurphy, when she teaches on this, she lays it out. Like 2013, her mom liked her post. 2014, 2015, 2016, 2019. Now she's got, you know, hundreds of comments and that kind of stuff. It's a long game here. So that's why you want to get started immediately, getting people to know you and that kind of stuff. So social media building is incredible, but it takes patience and it takes consistency, right? Day in, day out. It's like that bamboo seed. If you guys haven't seen that story, you plant the bamboo seed, and I forget the number of years that it sits in the dark. Water, sun, water, sun, water, water. And then after a while, it blooms and it grows like, I think, oh, I have this story well, but I think it grows like 60 feet in like the next year or something after all these years of darkness. So that's how we need to think of our social media. So I really botched that story, but you guys should look that up because it's really good example of what you're doing here, right? Years of consistency and building growth. That's why the belly to belly is important in the meantime, but you want to be so focused on your intention going into social media. So I think this has the biggest potential, social media, but it takes showing up. It takes showing up. So how can you do that? I think, like I said, make sure you know your outcome when you go on social media. So are you building connections? Are you meeting your future team? Are you giving value? You know, remembering these things before you go on will not let you go down that thing. The byproduct of these things is to sell ketones. But if you go online thinking I need to sell ketones, you're already down a little bit of a different rabbit hole, right? So what I want you to realize by me saying that is that you already have this in you. You just have to start, and you have to keep going, keep going, keep going. Like, I feel like I was talking to Nick about this recently, and I was like, my little nephew was like, hey, Aunt Kelly, how are you on YouTube? And literally, I just started it, but it was like 2 years ago, I started posting on social media, and all my pictures were dark and no one really liked them or commented. And then I saw somebody else's who had a brighter videos or brighter pictures. I reached out like, hey, how are you getting your pictures so bright? And it was a layering process, right? And so now it's like, oh, we can do videos that look pretty decent and get some information out here. So be the person that you want to be on Instagram or on social media, or that you want to follow. So if you wouldn't go on and follow someone that has 47 promos or flyers on their thing, don't be that person. I always say that, don't be weird, and it won't be weird in person, right? Same thing on social media. If you wouldn't want to go in and follow someone who's constantly trying to sell something, then don't be that person. And we're going to walk through the next, 2, 3, 4 days on ways to tactfully and more effectively share ketones on social media. So the number one rule on social: stay within these 4 categories in your posts and in your stories, and you can feel confident that you can't go wrong, and you just need to stay more consistent. So here's the 4 things. Are you providing value? Are you entertaining? Are you educating? And are you inspiring? And if you're staying within those 4, once you know these, now you have to take ownership of that. So I'm not saying go back and delete everything that you have, but I think if we're staying within those 4, it's kind of like, once you know, you can't unknow. So whenever like I'm eating a food that I maybe know is bad, but Nick sends me an article and then I know that it's like 100% poison, I can't unknow that. So then I don't really eat those foods. Same thing here. Take ownership. Well, now that you know the 4 categories you need to stay in, don't go making not crazy posts, but you know what I mean? Stay within those 4. And as long as you do it consistent day in, day out, then you're good to go. So some basics. Facebook and Instagram. Let's go over some basics. I think we all know by now that Instagram is a little more friendly to what we do. So if you're going to share more ketones, even after these 4 days of talking about it, if you're like, I need to just do this, I need to just get it out there, Instagram is really a lot more friendly to businesses and being open to selling those kinds of things. And we'll walk through that. But here's some basics. On Facebook and Instagram, you want people to be able to search for you and know who you are. So I heard, I think it was Gary Vee one time, he was like, is it called Facebook or is it called Pet Book or Family Book or Trip Book? Like, it's called Facebook because you want people to see your face. That's the first thing you want them to see when you go on there. So your profile picture, like, how many people have your face on that? Like, give me a hands up. Or do you have your dog on it? Or do you have your family? Or do you have your house? Or do you have whatever? I've been there, believe me. Like, I thought it was, believe me, I've been there. But I think, when we want to grow a business, I want someone to search people and bam, there's my face. And they're like, oh, I think I did see her. I saw her video, or I saw her at an event, or I saw her out at the soccer field or whatever. I want them to know my name and know who I am when they search me on Facebook. Or, have you ever gone on Facebook and you type in someone's name and 82 populate, it's 47 dogs, somebody's backyard, and you're like, I will never find this person. I want my face there. So you want a bright pic of your face. I would venture even to say not even your whole body. Like you want your face and a bright picture of that. So if you need brightening tools, reach out, okay? And your banner pic, you know, that one that goes behind it. You want it to be something that ties to you. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the same as your profile picture, like a bright picture of your face, but you want it to be, you know, something that is you, like your favorite trip or an inspirational quote, or you doing something, right? Who wants movers and doers in their business, right? So I have a quote on there now, but before I've had one of like glacier hiking. Like I want people who go out glacier hiking. They're action takers. I want action takers attracted to me, right? What it won't be is a prove it banner, right? It won't be a prove it banner. So not ketones, right? We don't, not even, I would venture to say not even with a shaker bottle. Why? When people sign onto your social media, they do not do it with their credit card in their hand. Period, right? When they hover over you, you know, you can hover over the face and it pulls up what their banner picture is. If they think you're going to spam them or sell them, they do not want to follow you, right? I'm guilty of it. I hover over and I'm like, I'm not going there. So, you know, a good way to see what you should be posting or can be posting. Missy and I had a really good conversation about this because we follow people on social media, and I told you before in other trainings, find people's accounts that you like and sort of mimic what they're doing. But I also think you want to be careful to follow people sort of at the next level of what you're doing and maybe not 27 chapters in. So like I can follow Katie Rollins, I can follow Jessie Lee, I can follow different people that are great on social media, but they've already built like maybe 5 years before me. So they have a little more leeway to post product and do that kind of stuff because they've put in that time, they put in that work. But if I follow someone who's right after me in the social media world or Improve It or wherever, then I'll get a better idea of sort of how to build at the level I'm wanting to get to next, if that makes sense. So, okay. Next thing, make sure your account is set to public. I know. Did that make you feel like, if you have kids, that made me feel kind of sketchy when I first had to do that too. It took me a while to be comfortable, but if you are like raising your hand, I want to build on social media, this is not even, it's not even up for debate. People can't find you. You can rock on social media, but if people can't find you, they want to be nosy. If I meet someone, I want to be nosy. If I'm going to join a business with them, if I'm going to buy a product from them, I want to be nosy. I want to know who they are. And I've done this before when I was debating between products and the person mattered. I went with a different product because the person mattered. What they had posted on their social media did not align with how I feel about a lot of things. And the other one did. And I was like, it's a sign I'm supposed to be there. I make choices based on alignment. And so it matters what you post on social media. They want to see your happy life. They want to see your positivity. If they can't see that, you're basically cutting off your own arm. So you can keep some things private. If you guys, you can Google all of this stuff or YouTube it. You can have albums you set to private that only your friends can see. You can set who sees it. You know, so if you have a lot of kid pictures and you want your family to see that, but not everyone else, you can do all that stuff. So research it. The next thing, start wherever you're most comfortable, but remember what the platforms were made for, or what these platforms were meant to do. Build connections, hang out, reconnect. At no point, and they're very specific about this in their rules, at no point was Facebook meant to get on and sell things. They are crystal clear about it not being a place to do that. So blasting sales, promos, flyers, not only will it turn people away from you, but it can get your account terminated. And they're very serious about it. In the past couple of years, they've hired more people. They've hired, you know, they've put more systems in place to sort of not even let people see it, but they can terminate your account. So we don't want that to happen. Don't freak out, right? But they are trying to control this. So we want to be adjusting it. And I'll get into in the next couple of days how to make this easier. With Instagram, like I said, they don't mind as much if you sell and kind of make it known, but we still want to be tactful because there are so many direct sales out there. We want to make sure that we're setting the bar higher, right? We don't want to come in and just try to get the quick sales. We want to come in and build something we can be proud of, right? Okay, so still be tactful. In your bio, I wouldn't put your link. I wouldn't put, like if you do a link tree or something like that, but I wouldn't just put your Prove It site up there. I wouldn't put like, I'm your keto girl. No one cares about that outside of Prove It. So we want it to be something, you know, that excites people. When I click in, if it's something all like alignment that aligns with what I do, I'm going to click in, right? They want to get a vibe of who you are. So put stuff in there like your hobbies, your family, real life situations, questions that you want feedback on. People love to give you their opinion. So that's what builds engagement. If you notice, like sometimes I think I can put the best post out there, even if it's about ketones, and then I put something else like, you know, I've made this joke before, but about like not washing my hair for a couple days. What do you guys do? 100 comments. So I'm like, oh, like that's weird, but people like to give their opinion on stuff. So tomorrow we're going to get into tools on how to do all that, but know that Facebook is putting time, people, and money into flagging personal accounts that are all business. So I wouldn't copy and paste if they get, you know, sometimes we see a great post and we want to copy and paste it. Make it your own, you guys. It's better for you, and it's better, you know, that people are going to see it on Facebook, right? We want to stay off their radar. So next thing, who utilizes Prove It Facebook page as a resource? I do. I love Prove It Facebook page. In fact, it told me I'm a top fan for the past couple of weeks. I love it. But we have to remember it is a connect piece, not an attract piece. Hear me on that again. It is a connect piece, not an attract piece. You're the attract piece. You have to remember, like, it's in here. Whatever makes you you, that's who you're trying to attract. The Prove It page is the connect tool, right? And I've been guilty of this. I used to share the Dr. Live videos every single Wednesday on my personal page. I was that person, right? We get excited because we see these awesome videos and we see a flashy XYZ on there, and you share it on your page, but you're not utilizing it in the very best way. In your own groups, yes, but not on your personal Facebook page. You're trying to use it as an attract piece when it's not. So we want to share it, ways to use it. Share it in a PM when you're talking with people. Share it in a lot of PMs because that makes it personal. It makes it a connect tool rather than just like, look what I have, okay? Tag someone in it who can relate. Tag a lot of people. That's what I love to do, especially the Inspire-Ons. I tag tons of people. I PM it. I make it a goal to PM it to at least 10 or 20 people. That way it's personal to them. The difference, you're giving information to someone who asked for it or who is in direct need of that information other than using it to be spammy. So it's not personal, or if it's not personal or making people feel heard, you know, they feel pressured. And we don't want to do that. So it's a great tool as long as we use it in the right way and not as sort of a billboard. Okay. So the next thing, and this is the last thing I have, messenger feature. This is where a lot of the magic happens, guys. So play around in there. You're building authentic connections, you know, birthdays. And I'm going to make this adjustment too. I go on their public page a lot and I'll put happy birthday. And I do that as part of my DMO. But I like it when people PM me, even if it's someone I've never met. If they like get in and sing, like it feels funny. But I think that's funny when people do that. And I go engage on their page. So be a little bit different than everyone else, right? You can go to the event tab, find birthdays, and go do it that way. And I think like not just a happy birthday, like, hey, Susan, happy birthday, or like have my kids sing something really funny and personal, right? And when they hover over, so we're going to tie this back together. So I go in, I sing them happy birthday. They think that's funny. They hover over my name. What are they seeing, right? They're seeing me. They're not seeing Crazy Town Keto Land, right? We're seeing what we're doing here. We're attracting them to my page. So who loves face-to-face and belly-to-belly? This goes back to this too. And I want to make sure you guys are understanding why this is important, even if you're a belly-to-belly person. What it's going to do is give you validation and connection. So for example, I go to Starbucks, I meet someone there, we have a great connection. I Facebook friend them. What happens, right? This is my backup. So I don't have to give all of myself to that person there because I friend them on Facebook and they come and they see me on there, right? This microwaves the 10 more touches you're going to need for them to get to know you before they trust that they want to get a 5-day from you, right? So if I'm solid on Facebook, I friend them. Who's done it? I've met someone before. I meet them. I do it all the time. I meet them at a homeschool group maybe, and then I go in and I stalk their whole Facebook. I know all about them the next time I meet them, not just because I want to be a good business person, which I think that is good, but because I'm nosy. I want to know what's going on. I want to know if they like are doing what I'm doing. I want to know, you know, what's going on in their life. So I think that's just as important for that. So tomorrow we're going to dig in on ways to make this all happen. I know right now you're thinking like, when do we talk ketones, right? And we will. Yeah, like I just told you not to do that. We will. You do. I share it on Facebook too and on Instagram. But be patient. Tomorrow we're going to walk all through that. So for your call to action, I want you to self-assess. I want you to go through your social media and I want you to do a self-assessment on what is it like. What did you post? Why did you post it? Did it fall under inspire, educate, entertain, and did it give value? And if not, why did you post it? Right? It's not to make you feel bad. It's to make an assessment on what you're doing on social media if you've raised your hand and said you want to build this way. So don't delete them all. Just make it better going forward. right? If you're making a post every single day, no one's going to see those old ones after a little while, you guys, and they're going to get better. They're not scrolling back that far. They're like, oh, dang, they're going to read a couple good ones and be like, this girl's funny. Or like, this girl's kids are funny. This girl's got a lot going on. Her mindset's growing. Like, that's the stuff. That's the stuff you want them to see. So immediate things, if you have a prove it banner on your banner thing, take it off. Okay. Put a good picture of your kids or you guys doing something fun. But otherwise, just go back and self-assess. This self-audit is going to be super important going into tomorrow. So we can circle around tomorrow and the following days, and you're aware of your position and where you're at now, and then we can build on that. So this self-assessment is going to be super important going forward. So thank you guys for your patience and going over a couple minutes, and I will see you guys tomorrow.